The Royal Rumble is officially past us, and we are officially on the road to WrestleMania. Now, overall, I thought the show was actually pretty good. There were some things that I liked about the show, some things that I was kind of surprised about the show, and other things that just didn't make a whole lot of sense to me. And we're going to tackle all of them as I recap the show and give my review of it. Real quickly, before we get too far ahead in the video, I want to say that if you are a WWE fan, consider subscribing to this YouTube channel. That is all we post is WWE related content. So if you're a WWE fan, again, consider subscribing. It's free. You can always change your mind later. So we are going to start off by talking about the match that kicked off this year's Royal Rumble, the Women's Royal Rumble. And my God, what a performance that these ladies put on. From the very beginning, you had Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair coming out at 1 and 2. And I thought that was a really clever way to show the kind of growing rift maybe between the two, like we all are anticipating. I thought it was kind of funny how they kept teasing each other and messing with each other, thinking that they were going to hit each other with their finishes and try to eliminate each other, and they ended up not doing it. That little dynamic there I actually really enjoyed. The highlights of the match, I would say, were Lash Legend looking like $1,000 throughout the entire course of this match. And it really kind of felt like they gave her the Nia Jax spots from last year when she was just dominating people left and right. Last year, Nia Jax was booked to be the big bad scary in the Women's Royal Rumble, and they tried to make her into that with last year's Rumble having the group elimination that really killed that match, in my opinion. And this year they had Nia Jax come out early, which we never really see. And she never really felt like that big, bad, menacing, scary boss that she has been known to be booked as. That role, I think, was filled with Lash Legend, and I thought she did an absolutely amazing job at it. When you take a look at who she eliminated and who eliminated her, I think speaks volumes as to where WWE sees Lash in the future. She got to eliminate the Bella Twins, Charlotte frickin' Flair, and Io Sky. Not much needs to be said on Charlotte Flair at this point as to what that means for Lash Legend, but her also eliminating Io Sky, who is one of the more popular superstars on the women's roster, again, I think it speaks volumes to where they see Lash Legend going. And then her getting eliminated by Rhea Ripley, again, speaks volumes to where they see Lash Legend going in the future. Because having it be Rhea Ripley, who is at the top of the mountain in the women's division right now in terms of popularity and all that, that's a big vote of confidence for Lash Legend. You had what I was most excited to see in the dynamic that was going to play out with the Judgment Day ladies. Roxanne Perez, Raquel Rodriguez, and Liv Morgan. Liv Morgan obviously going on to win this year's Royal Rumble and go on to WrestleMania. However, I was not expecting her to eliminate Raquel Rodriguez. And this is what I talked about in the preview video where I thought that it was going to end up being Liv and Raquel at some point throughout the course of the road to WrestleMania. Would not shock me at all if Raquel Rodriguez ends up winning her match against Stephanie Valquer, and then that feud takes us on to WrestleMania. And outside of Lash Legend having a fantastic Royal Rumble, Sol Ruca also had a fantastic night. I thought she really opened the eyes of a lot of people, including people that I watched with who don't watch wrestling. They started really enjoying her work. Now, I will say, when it got down to the final three, and she was one of them, with Tiffany Stratton, who returned, and Liv Morgan, it was kind of a dumb way to get eliminated for Sol Ruca. That part kinda disappointed me a little bit, but it still was a really fun finish to that match. Having all three women dangling from the top rope on the verge of being eliminated, all of them saving themselves in the course of it, for Sol Ruca to try to hit the Soul Stature in that position, maybe not the smartest move, but she's young, she's going to get there. The final two being Tiffany Stratton and Liv Morgan, I thought was an absolutely genius idea. Liv Morgan winning in the way she did, I thought was also amazing. So my grade for this year's Royal Rumble is a solid A. I like how a lot of the women were treated throughout the course of this match. I talked about Lash Legend looking fantastic, Soruka looking great. Jordan Grace also looked very, very good throughout the course of this match. So again, the grade for the Women's Royal Rumble this year, not only is it a big thumbs up for me, but it's also a very solid A. We're going to kind of power through the two matches that were in between the men's and women's Royal Rumble just because there's not that much to really talk about. AJ Styles versus Gunther went kind of as expected. Now, don't get me wrong, it was a very, very good match between AJ Styles and Gunther. In my opinion, I thought it was a lot better than what we got between Gunther and John Cena. Gunther winning, I think we all kind of knew was going to happen. Now, the big talking point from that match came after it when AJ Styles took his gloves off, looked like he was going to leave them in the middle of the ring, put them back on. That to me signals that his WWE career is done, but his professional wrestling career is not. Whether he goes on to AEW or he goes back to the place that he built, TNA. Drew McIntyre and Sami Zayn was also another really, really good match, and one that really surprised me because Drew McIntyre really beat the snot out of Sami Zayn. And I was not expecting that kind of beatdown from Drew McIntyre, but I loved just how vicious he was throughout the course of that match. You still had Sami Zayn being the underdog in that story, which I don't necessarily like him being the underdog anymore. It just fits Sami Zayn's character so much, but the underdog of Sami Zayn was still there. But you just had Drew McIntyre, who was just chopping him down like nothing. So it really did surprise me just how badly Sami got beaten up throughout the course of this match. But again, I loved how vicious Drew was. And I loved the finish to this match. Drew McIntyre setting up for the Claymore again, looking at Sami Zayn and telling Sami to look him in the eyes. That is a fantastic way for Drew McIntyre to look, to feel as he moves on to what we presume is Jacob Fatu and Cody Rhodes. And that takes us to the Men's Royal Rumble. And this was the tale of two Rumbles. It started out as a fantastic Royal Rumble. The beginning to that Royal Rumble had the potential to be one of the better Royal Rumbles that we have had over the past couple years. Obafemi coming out at number 1. Again, it shows you how high they have Obafemi. And before you talk about the Braun Breaker getting leaked at number 1, him coming out at number 2, I don't think that necessarily changed anything because Obafemi was still most likely going to come out at number 2. You had Royce Keys make his debut, formerly known as Powerhouse Hobbs in AEW, and they gave him the red carpet treatment, and I thought he looked really, really freaking good. Teasing a lot of matches that we could possibly be getting out of him, he looked really, really good, and as someone who doesn't necessarily watch AEW, Powerhouse Hobbs, now Royce Keys, really, really surprised me with this one. Again, I knew he was one of AEW's top guys, but I didn't realize just how good he really, really was. You had some of the fun moments with AAA guys, La Parka and Mr. Iguana. You can't go wrong with those two being in a Royal Rumble. You just can't. And then we had Brock frickin' Lesnar come out, and we kept getting teased between him and Obafemi, the match that we all want to see. And every time that they would get closer and closer to looking like they were actually going to do it, another entrant would come in and disrupt it. So it was very clear what WWE was trying to do, and you would have assumed that they would have had another bigger moment in that match. However, it just didn't happen. The match just completely fell apart when Jey Uso made his entrance. And this is not Jey Uso's fault necessarily, because the booking, while Jey was making his entrance, just did not make any sense. You had Brock Lesnar, who eliminated Obafemi as Jey's making his entrance, where everybody is more fixated on the entrance of Jey Uso than Obafemi, the guy who everybody was falling in love with. You had him getting eliminated from Brock Lesnar, the guy that you were teasing with him for so long throughout the course of this match, and you eliminated him like it was nothing. And then it somehow managed to get worse, because after that, you had Cody Rhodes and LA Knight eliminate Brock Lesnar, which, again, was during the Jey Uso entrance. It's Brock Lesnar, one of the biggest names of all time in your company, and you just dump him while Jey Uso was doing his entrance. And it wasn't even two guys that necessarily needed to eliminate Brock Lesnar. Cody Rhodes and LA Knight are already very, very established. Brock Lesnar being eliminated should have been used to make a bigger star like what we saw when Drew McIntyre eliminated him. And then once Jay finally took 10 minutes to finish his entrance and running it back, Roman Reigns came in, and by that point, I think the writing was all on the wall. Because a lot of the main guys were already out at that point. You had Cody Rhodes, who got eliminated by Drew McIntyre. So I'm assuming that the Undisputed Championship picture on the road to WrestleMania is going to be taken up with Drew McIntyre, Jacob Fatu, and Cody Rhodes. You had Gunther coming in at number 30, and a loss here doesn't necessarily hurt him because he had the match earlier with AJ Styles, so he kind of gets a bypass from it. And then you had Roman Reigns, who just came in, cleaned house, and won. Was it an obvious one? Absolutely it was. Could they have gone a lot better of a route to get there? Absolutely they could have. So my grade for the Men's Royal Rumble this year, I'm gonna end up going with a B- because there were a lot of good that came from the very beginning of that Royal Rumble, and then it all just fell apart during the Jey Uso entrance. And again, I know that I am very, very critical on Jey Uso, but that was not his fault. So this is where I want to hear from you guys. Let me know what your guys' thoughts and opinions are from this year's Royal Rumble. Do you agree with the decision to have Liv Morgan and Roman Reigns win the Royal Rumbles? Do you not agree with it? Let me know why you do or you don't. As always, leave that stuff. As always, leave your thoughts and opinions down below in the comments section. And while you're down there, swing by the description and click the Linktree link. That is the only link in the description for a reason. That is because it'll take you to all of the social media platforms that we are on for this channel. I do strongly suggest going and checking out our X page. In case you missed it yesterday, I do updates for Monday Night Raw, Friday Night SmackDown, and the PLEs. So yesterday was a very busy day over on X for this guy as he was rapidly going through and updating everybody on the Royal Rumble. And if you enjoy these videos and you're looking for some extra content, go check out our Instagram and our TikTok pages as well. Over on those two pages, you can expect clips from these videos, and it's just another place for me to post when I do upload a video on here to YouTube. So if you enjoy these videos and you are looking for some extra content, again, Linktree link in the description. It'll take you to wherever you want to go. So with all that said and finally done, that is going to do it for this video here. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy it, hit the like button. If you really enjoyed it, hit the subscribe button. Both are free. Both really help out the channel a lot. And of course, if you have made it to this point of the video, I want to say thank you very, very much for taking the time out of your busy day to watch these videos here because it genuinely means the world to me. And as always, stay tuned for more WWE content coming in the future. We'll see you next time.